Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Jacqueline Peña here with us, and she's focused in empowerment through education. She's running the eteconsulting.com. So, Jacqueline, please introduce yourself and your business to our audience.
Yeah. So hi, everyone. Again, Jacqueline Peña, President and CEO of Empowerment Through Education. And our organization is very focused on supporting all educational institutions across the world in student success initiatives. How can we help you meet your student success goals? And we do that through a variety of services: grant writing, evaluation, program evaluation, implementation of student success programs, professional development, strategic planning. We're basically your fractional employees for whatever areas you need help in to be able to meet your mission with your students.
Okay, great stuff. Yeah. So who do you support? Like in general, like who can be your client?
A great question. So our clients are mainly chairs, deans, provosts, college presidents, superintendents of school districts. And we also have a lot of faculty members who obtain grants and are looking for some support in that process. And we work so well with everyone because we incorporate coaching into everything we do. So we're doing the work, but we're also helping you with other key components of those projects. And I think that's that learning piece, that education hat. I've been in education for over 25 years. And I think that's that little extra piece that goes into what we do every day.
Very nice. Yeah, absolutely. And so what inspired you to get into this line of business?
Great question. So my first passion is education. My second passion is business. I've been working in small businesses for over 30 years now, I believe. And so I brought those two passions together to create a business that serves educational institutions and can look at them from different perspectives because of those two backgrounds: the multifaceted higher ed background, I was an educator and administrator, but also a small business background that helps with operations and processes and strategic planning. Um, Before COVID, I had to go remote for a little bit. I thought I was only going to be away from my traditional role for a year. And then life threw a few surprises and I could not go back. And so I created Empowerment Through Education, and we really launched in January 2020. And we had our first contract right away to work on undergraduate research programs. However, then COVID hit and I stayed remote and I was a caregiver and I was helping with family businesses. And it just allowed me the flexibility to serve our clients and to pivot in COVID and get creative and help them be successful in the pandemic while still being able to contribute in a meaningful way, even though I could not return to a traditional role right away.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, obviously, you sort of gone through all these different challenges and a number of others, I can presume, in those few years that you've been in business. And so how do you deal with challenges? What's the one piece of advice you can share with our audience when it comes to dealing with challenges in the business and moving parts and different sort of changes in the economy, in governments, and a lot of different sort of things that can affect the business?
That's a great question. And I'm going to talk about levels of reactiveness and then versus being proactive. So I think that a lot of times we can be immediately reactive. Oh my God, this is happening. We got to do something. And we don't take time to really reflect and look at the bigger picture and ask questions and maybe beta test ideas with people. And so that immediate reactive is, oh my goodness, this is happening. Let's take care of it now. And the other kind of reactive is, I see there's a shift in the economy. I hear these things going on. I'm going to react to it a little bit, but by taking the time now to reflect and do the research and try to see if this other idea will help us pivot and create a new revenue stream, for example. Maybe it's something that's going to shift your revenue streams and be able to do that. The third approach, which I try to incorporate as part of my process, my weekly and daily process, is the more proactive approach, always looking around to what's going on, not waiting for like the big issues or changes to drop all of a sudden, but really thinking, how can I keep evolving? What's the next change? What's another revenue stream or another department in the firm that we can grow that would really help our partners? And then does it make sense to start shrinking this or have less support here, more support there? So being able to being flexible and nimble and being able to make changes and test them out in a slightly more proactive way. So I always think of it in that sense, the immediate reactive way versus the reactive, but we have a little bit of time to reflect and try things out. And then the more proactive way of thinking, where do I go next? And every year we go through strategic planning. I'm always talking with my team members. We do weekly strategy sessions, one-on-one strategy sessions that incorporate some coaching for them as well in there. And we're always thinking and talking about how things are going, how and what can we do better. So I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
helps with challenges.
That's really important, especially those such sessions. And one of the things, obviously, that costed us a lot in the business is being sort of moving too fast into changes. And then sometimes what happens is that we actually kill or destroy something that works. And then just start doing new things that we don't know if they're going to work or not. So did you ever have that experiences, or how do you deal with those kind of issues?
Yeah, sometimes we make some decisions and they're not for the right reasons, right?
Mm.
Or they feel like they're for the right reasons at the moment and it turns out that wasn't the right direction. So sometimes a decision is made to maybe start building slowly a department within the firm that could serve a certain group or help in a certain way. So let's say dissertation coaching support. And sometimes you do that thinking about just one client, or in our case, we were thinking about one or two clients, but we were thinking about a wonderful team member and we wanted to provide more work avenues for that person for growth. And it wasn't really aligned to the mission of ET at that time and how we were set up. And it deviated us a little bit from the other work we were doing. So we started dividing up our time, trying to build this department when we hadn't fully fleshed out another department. So I think it's important to just take a minute and say, am I really working towards our mission? Is this the right strategy? That we decided not to do as part of ET. Now, I personally do a lot of consultant work. I help small businesses, I help people with their dissertations. I can do it through that stream. But what's the true identity of this company and what are we trying to do? Because I don't want to dilute what my team members are doing and what the departments are doing. So that just it wasn't a great revenue generating stream for a large consulting firm. It wasn't the right move for us. It's a great project somewhere else, but not for ETE. So it's kind of making those decisions. Yeah, so I think that's one example of where that sounds like a great idea, but is it truly aligned to our mission and where we want to go with our strategic plan? And does it make sense for generating revenue for the firm?
Totally. And if someone wants to actually get in touch with you, connect to you, or learn more about what you do, how they can do that?
Of course, I'm always available at Jackie, Jackie, at eteconsulting.com. You can email me directly. We can always set up a Zoom on my Calendly, which is calendly.com/Jacqueline Peña/consultation. I'm always here to answer any questions via email or Zoom. And sometimes it's just a quick little strategy session over a cup of coffee just to test out an idea together.
Great. Jackie, thank you so much for being a guest today. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, if you have any questions for Jackie and me, you can ask them in the comments and we'll be more than happy to answer them. And then on top of that, if you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and see you all in the next episode. Jackie, thanks again. See you soon.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.